When the funds are low and the debts are high, and you want to smile but you have to sigh. When care is pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but do not ever quit. Success is a failure turned inside out. Let's talk and clear the clouds of doubt.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome, dear viewers, to another new and exciting episode of your program, Let's Talk. I'm your host, Malik Evangelatos, and today we're going to be talking about physical fitness. Does physical fitness have a place in Islam? Does physical fitness have a role in our lives as Muslims? Should we be emulating Westerners and non-Muslims by going to the gym, by lifting big and heavy weights, by drinking protein powders to inflate our muscles and poke out our chests? Doesn't this lead to all sorts of psychological disorders like anorexia, like obsessive compulsive disorder, not to say vanity and arrogance, to say the least? Joining me to discuss these interesting and serious questions is a Islamic professor of Islamic law at the very prestigious and the oldest Islamic university on the face of this earth, of course, Al-Azhar University, Dr. Mahmoud Al-Dinawi. Dr. Mahmoud, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Welcome to our program, Let's Talk, and thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule for being with us.
Thank you very much.
And of course, we're joined by the studio audience as well. I want to greet you also with the greeting of assalamu alaikum, and thank you very much for being here as well. Excellent. Dr. Mahmoud, I'd like to ask you, we have an authenticated hadith, a statement attributed to our Prophet Muhammad, peace be with him, where he says, a strong believer is stronger than a weak believer.
Yeah.
Can you explain this hadith a little bit, and what is meant here by strong?
Yeah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. The Prophet ﷺ says that the strong believer is better than the weak believer in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Okay.
Because first of all, if you are strong enough, you will enjoy the life, right? And you will enjoy the blessing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave to you. And the most important thing, that you will be able to defend your country. You will be able to defend your religion.
Okay.
You will be able to defend your family. If you are not strong enough, then you will be a fair game to the enemies.
Okay.
Right?
So we mean strong in the physical sense as well, or spiritual sense in all?
By different meanings. Strong,
Okay.
because there is another hadith which says, don't think that the strong one is the one who could defeat people, but the strong one is the one who could control himself in the time of anger.
Okay.
So strong means physical fitness.
Okay.
Could mean also that the person who could control himself during the time of anger. When he is angry, he doesn't say anything bad. And
Okay, things like controlling your temper. So strong has many meanings, including physical fitness.
Yeah.
Do we have any evidences about the Prophet Muhammad, peace be with him, as far as was he extremely physically strong, or were the Sahaba strong physically as well? Did they participate in exercise and sports and things like that?
Yeah. There is a report which says there was a person called Rikana, and Rikana was very strong. He would defeat 10 people at the same time. He wasn't Muslim. And then the Prophet ﷺ said to him, "O Rikana, if I challenge you, for example, or we have a kind of wrestling, and I was able to defeat you, shall you become a Muslim?" He said, "Yes, I'll become a Muslim." And then there was something like fencing or wrestling between him and the Prophet ﷺ, and then the Prophet ﷺ managed to win the wrestling, or the game.
Interesting.
And then Rikana became a Muslim.
And, interesting. I didn't know also, they say Umar ibn Khattab was a very big and strong man physically as well.
That's right.
Excellent, yeah. So that goes to show. Because we also had another statement by Omar, who had said something to the effect, I believe, teach your kids 3 things: archery, swimming, and
riding horses.
Now, what is the significance of this? Why should we do that?
Yeah, because these are, we would say maybe these the types of sport that were available at this time.
Okay.
And teaching swimming itself is very important, because we had a report which said that the Prophet ﷺ was a very good swimmer.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah. One day he was with the Sahaba, with the companions, and they were in something like river. And he said, every one of you should go till the end, and he should meet his brother. Everybody met the other, and then became the Prophet and Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu, and then they met each other, and they hugged each other, and he said, Abu Bakr is my best friend.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, yeah. And Sayyidina Umar said this because we know at this time Islam was in the beginning, and the Islamic da'wah was in need for those men who are strong.
Okay.
Those men who are ready to fight, to go, to do all these things. And Sayyidina Umar, of course, he was very strong. And Islam, again, as I said before, we started the talk, is against those who a little bit look like women or who are feminine.
Okay, right.
One of the lady companions, when she saw, they were very good, but they were walking in a humble way like dervishes. You know?
Okay,
and
yeah.
she said, "Oh, may Allah have mercy upon Umar. When he walks like a battalion, like a warrior,
Like a
and
man.
when he like a commander,
Right.
and when he speaks, everybody would hear what he says. And if he punishes, he is severe in his punishment because he's applying the hudud of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Okay.
Right?
Excellent. Yeah, of course, being strong is a feature of a man. So you said a man should behave like a man and a woman
Yes.
obviously should behave like women. And it's interesting, doctor, also, swimming. Doctors today, they say that swimming is an anaerobic and aerobic exercise, and it's very good.
Yeah.
SubhanAllah, that the Sahaba knew this
Yeah.
at the time as well. But what about horseback riding? Should we be teaching our kids horseback riding, or is this outdated as well? I mean,
No, of course, this is very important if we have the ability, because it makes like bodybuilding, and it helps you, because if you are healthy enough and if you practice any kind of sport, this will keep you or will give you the chance to enjoy your health.
Okay.
As the hadith, there is another hadith which says the one who when he starts his day while his health is fine, is sound, while he have the provision for one day, while he's secure within his home, it's exactly as he has been given the whole world itself.
SubhanAllah, it's beautiful hadith as well.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jazakallah khairan for
Exactly.
that, doctor. What about archery, though? Because no one's using bow and arrows anymore.
Yeah.
So should we be teaching our children archery as well, or is
I
there?
think nowadays, if they had the weapons like we have, like automatic or machine guns or rifles or whatever,
This is
I think archery applies to shooting nowadays.
Okay, yeah, we can say that by analogy.
Yeah, yeah.
The archery is outdated, but now we have rifles and shooting, and this is a whole different sport in an art as well.
Yeah.
Doctor, I would like to change gears a little bit and ask you about the culture of bodybuilding that we see in the United States and Western countries,
Yeah.
which involves going to a gymnasium, paying a membership fee,
Yeah.
lifting weights, drinking protein powder, and like really obsessing over our looks.
Yeah.
Is this behavior appropriate for a Muslim?
No, because this against the laws, against the nature at which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created human beings. Well, as you mentioned, Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu, he was very strong. He didn't go to gym. You can't go to the gym,
Right.
but you shouldn't do something against your nature, because during bodybuilding, right?
Right.
They eat a lot of things, and as
Right.
you said, you use powder,
Yeah.
you use something to inflate their muscles.
Yeah.
And this is, at the end, I hear that maybe when people get a little bit old, this causes a lot of problems for them.
Yeah, of course, and they also use drugs and steroids. And this is, I feel like we're actually changing the creation of Allah when we alter our, significantly change our muscles, because they look like, almost like horses, they get to be so big.
That's right.
And also, as you know, doctor, in the gym, when you go to a gym in America and in Arab countries as well,
Yeah.
there's a lot of mixing and there's music being played. So this is
Right. No, it's against Islam.
yeah, this is a different topic altogether. I want to ask you another question. We see people around the world really engaged in sports like football, or what Americans call soccer,
Yeah.
and they say, hey, we're staying fit. You know, the Sahaba played sports.
Yeah.
But do you see any use for sports like football and basketball, and from an Islamic perspective?
Yes. Anyway, both of them, these sports are not haram, because it's on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who makes things halal or haram, right? But they become haram if they are used against, if, for example, football is going to take you from your acts of worship, is going to take you away from prayer, is going to take you away from your religion, is going to make you neglect your duties, neglect your parents, neglect your family, because this is very bad. And when you see some people, they leave their families and they spend maybe 2 hours watch the game, and then 2 hours watch another game. They spend the whole night, and then they buy magazines and newspapers which will talk about the same game again, the same match. So this is nonsense.
So as long as it doesn't take away from our responsibilities as Muslims, it should be okay.
Yeah.
I have to stop you there. We have to go to a short break, and we'll be right back. You guys stay tuned. We have more with Dr. Mahmoud Ad-Dinawi.
إذا دكت الأرض دكا.
Do you want to learn how to recite the Quran? Do you want to read Islamic books in Arabic? You may enroll in a small group.
العسل من السوق اشترى. نعم اشترى.
A private lesson.
من مثلها في فضلها.
من مسكها في فضلها.
or at your own pace to fit your schedule.
هل أنت معجب في المعهد؟
Courses for sisters with female instructors. We're bringing you the latest software technology, professional instructors, and a state-of-the-art classroom to the comfort of your home. Enroll now in Huda Academy. Huda Academy, your gateway to authentic Islamic knowledge.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to your program, Let's Talk. I'm still here with Dr. Mahmoud Al-Dinawi, a very prestigious man from Al-Azhar University. Dr. Mahmoud, thank you for staying with us for the second segment.
Welcome. Thank you very much.
Excellent. I wanted to ask you, Doctor, we talked about being physically fit in Islam. What are the spiritual advantages of someone who is physically fit and in shape as opposed to someone who is perhaps out of shape and maybe overweight and things like that? Does it benefit us from a spiritual perspective?
Yeah. So could you say this again, please?
Oh, no problem. If we have someone who's physically fit,
Yeah.
how will it benefit us Islamically? Will they be able to perform their acts of worship more
That's
efficiently?
right. Yeah. That's why Islam, for example, even in the way of eating itself, it
Okay.
teaches us how to eat, right?
Okay.
And of course, if your health is okay and your body is fine, then you will be able to practice the acts of worship
Okay.
properly. You will be
Exactly.
able to stand, to prostrate, to bow down, and to make, for example, i'tikaf, to make these things, and
Of
to
course.
pray during the night. Islam doesn't say that you have to pray all the night, but it says pray part of the night and then sleep. So it
Excellent.
teaches how to take care of ourselves very well.
Excellent point. Thank you, Doctor. Because we do know in Islam we have to make an effort. We have to get up in the morning. We have to stand. We have for prayer. We have to get down. We
Yeah.
have to walk to the masjid.
Yes.
So if we're completely out of shape, these would pose a difficulty with our religion. So
right.
excellent point. Well, what comes with physical fitness is dieting as well.
Yeah.
What is your opinion? You know, I'm from the United States, and we
Yeah.
see people in the United States excessively dieting. They even take pills to suppress their appetite.
Yeah.
They're called diet pills. You know, they have all sorts of weird phenomena over there. What is your opinion concerning those matters?
Anyway, such pills and such diets, sometimes they might deteriorate our health. But if you, as I
Okay.
said, if we follow what the Quran says, I read an article one day about a German professor, and he said that you Muslims, you have something like treasure, which is the Quran.
SubhanAllah.
And he said, I found a verse in chapter of Al-A'raf which says, يا بني آدم خذوا زينتكم عند كل مسجد وكلوا واشربوا ولا تسرفوا. The Quran says, eat and drink, but don't do these things extravagantly without any excessiveness. Right?
Okay.
There is a hadith also which says that you keep 1/3 for food, 1/3 for water, and 1/3 for breathing. If you keep these 3/3, then you will be healthy. You will never need any kind of dieting. You will never need any kind of help from anybody.
Right. Any pills or anything like that?
No. Because I forgot to mention in the first part of this program about somebody called Al-Qaqa ibn Amr. He didn't have any physical fitness. He didn't have any of these things. But this companion, Sayyidina Abu Bakr, he said his voice in the battle equals 1,000 men.
Okay.
Right? So he was very strong. He didn't do dieting or he didn't do any of these things.
But he had strength from a different perspective.
Yes.
Doctor, you said something interesting about, I believe it was a hadith, where we should keep 1/3 of our stomach for water, 1/3 for food, 1/3 for air. But do you think this is the culture in many of the Arab countries? Because I feel like I live here in the Middle East, and that's not the culture at all. People really, they eat a lot. We definitely overeat.
Yes.
It seems like it's a contradiction with our
Yes.
Islamic practice. That's and there's no doubt about that. Whereas in the United States, we don't eat at all. But can you talk to us about the dietary restrictions in Islam and why they are advantageous? They're well known. For example, Muslims don't eat pork. They don't consume alcohol. That's an advantage, isn't it?
Yes. Sure.
Because pork is unhealthy to begin with.
Yeah.
And alcohol, it's bad for us physically.
Yeah.
So we do have this advantage. Do we have any other reports from the examples from the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam?
Anyway, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, يا أيها الذين آمنوا كلوا من طيبات ما رزقناكم. Eat of the good things that we gave to you.
Okay.
Right? And if Islam told us that the things that are good, we have to consume them, eat them. But if there is something bad like pork or like alcohol, for example, we should know definitely that there are many dangers behind these things, right?
Right.
We shouldn't find, for example, excuses because some people say, oh, doctor said no, it's okay to have alcohol, to use it. No. Once Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says something, make sure that it's dangerous. It's going to destroy your health. It's going to bring you a lot of disasters and all these things. Also, and the Prophet ﷺ told us in many hadiths to avoid certain things. And I'll give you just an example, right? The Prophet ﷺ never ate something hot, right? And one day a hot food was offered to him. He said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't teach us to eat fire. He said, don't eat food while it's hot. And nowadays, I read an article which says that eating very hot food might cause you stomach cancer.
Oh, subhanAllah.
Yeah.
But warm food's okay, but not extremely hot food.
Yeah.
Yeah, extreme.
Yeah,
okay, right.
You shouldn't eat it very cold, and you should.
Okay.
I mean, in something medium.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
What about what we see, and we can't, I keep talking about the Western culture, but here in the Middle East, we see people smoking cigarettes as if it's healthy,
Yes.
as if it's candy or something, as if as Americans chew bubble gum.
Yeah.
There's no room in Islam for this, and this is against, obviously, physical fitness.
Sure.
But there's no room for smoking in Islam.
No, Islam, many scholars in Islam said that smoking is haram, totally prohibited.
Okay.
Because for many things. First of all, you are wasting your money.
Okay.
And you are trustee over this money because the money is not yours.
Because Allah will ask us about this, how we spent our money. Is that right?
That's right. The hadith says that a person will be asked about 5 things. Well, you'll be asked about your health, about your money, about your time. Another hadith also says that there are 2 blessings that people are unaware about their value. The first thing is health, and then the leisure time. So smoking is totally prohibited. You destroy the environment, first of all.
Okay, first of all.
You hurt the one who sits beside you. You
Right.
hurt your family. You hurt your children. You hurt your health.
Okay, excellent. I mean, there's no room for that. Unfortunately, it's become such a widespread practice. In the beginning of the program, we quoted a hadith about the strong believer and the weak believer. In the hadith, it's translated as strong, but what is the Arabic word there?
Qawi.
Qawi, okay.
Qawi, yes.
And we said this is going to encompass many different things, not just physical strength, spiritual strength.
You are right.
Like you said before the break, I told you sometimes I get nervous in front of the cameras.
Yeah.
And you had told me, well, this is also part of this hadith.
Yes.
You have to control your anger, your emotions.
That's right.
It encompasses, subhanAllah, it's a very wise hadith.
Yeah, and we have the best example here, the Prophet ﷺ.
Sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
One day, a Bedouin man came to him, and he said to him, just Muhammad, give me of the money you have. It's not your money. It's not the money of your parents. So he talked harshly to the Prophet.
Very rudely.
And the Prophet ﷺ didn't talk to him. But Sayyidina Umar was present in this time. He said, oh, Messenger of Allah, give me the chance to kill him. The Prophet said, no, leave him. And then the Prophet said to the man, what about if I punish you? He said, no, you will not do this. He said to him, why? He said, because you as a prophet, you replace the bad things with good things. And then the Prophet forgave him. Right? So if somebody, for example, insults you, if somebody provokes you, right? You have, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَالْكَاظِمِينَ الْغَيْظَ وَالْعَافِينَ عَنِ النَّاسِ, those who could control their anger and those who forgive people. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prepared a prestigious place in paradise for them.
Even with this hadith that you quoted, we have Omar, who's very strong in one sense, physically strong and has a temper, and the Prophet, peace be with him, is strong in the sense of having self-control, self-respect, and controlling his anger. Very interesting comment, Dr. Mahmoud. Actually, I believe we have some questions for you from the studio audience, if you don't mind.
It's okay.
Okay. You guys, assalamu alaikum, thank you for waiting patiently. You guys have any questions?
Yeah, I just wanted to make a comment about something we discussed in the last segment.
I'll try to interrupt you, brother. Where are you from and what is your name?
My name is Liban. I'm from Canada.
Oh, okay, excellent. Go ahead.
The last segment about, talking about archery and some of the 3 things that Umar bin Khattab suggested is actually there's an interesting story about in Andalus when the Muslims had Spain at that time. When the Christians came in, they saw a kid crying and they were asking him why he cried, and basically he said he basically couldn't kill like two birds with one arrow. And then they said this is not a good time to invade the Muslims, and then they came back a couple years later and they saw another kid crying, and they asked him why he was crying, and he said because I broke up with my girlfriend, So basically it's not just archery, but it shows as Muslims it's good to spend our time in just making our bodies healthy and running or just doing things that are good for our body, because time is is very important.
Thank you, brother, for the excellent comment. Jazakallah khairan for that, brother. Doctor, what did you think? I think it's an excellent point. As Muslims, our time is also valued. We can't just do wasteful things needlessly, because we will be held accountable for our time. Do we have any hadith or statements that Allah specifically says we will hold you accountable for your free time? Because we spend a lot of time doing wasteful
the hadith
things.
says there are it's an authentic hadith which says catches 5 things before they catch you. Catch your leisure time before death catches you. Catch your health before you become very ill. Catch your money before you become very moneyless or poor.
Right. SubhanAllah, those 3 actually, just what we said, those all relate to our topic. The money, wasting money on unhealthy things. The other thing was your time, which is valued, and your health, because the health is a gift. It's actually a gift from Allah. And if we don't respect it, it's as if we're disrespecting Allah.
And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will ask you about it. If you waste your health, if you didn't care of it, if you smoke, if you drink alcohol, for example, because we have to bear in mind that everything we have, our bodies, our money, everything, every gift that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave to us, it's a kind of trust.
Right, it's a trust.
And we are going to be questioned by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala about
Excellent point, Doctor. Thank you. And I hope you guys at home, I'm not sure where the camera is, I hope you guys at home are listening, because if you're smoking cigarettes, drinking alcohol, or doing anything bad, you're wasting your money, you're wasting your health, you're wasting your time, and you will be held accountable for that. So definitely keep that in mind. Doctor, I believe we have a second question from the studio audience. Is there any questions?
No,
Go ahead,
I have a question.
Well, what's your name and where you're from?
My name is Tayyib and I'm from Canada.
Thank you, Brother Tayyib, for coming. Go ahead.
My question is how you said about archery and the horseback riding and swimming. Like, we all know in Islam that there's gonna come a certain time where the airplanes and the guns and all that stuff is not gonna work. So wouldn't it be better for us to, before that time comes, we learn archery and horseback riding and stuff like that?
Excellent question. That's a good point. I mean, should we go back to the basics and build our bodies and spend time with more athletic and physical activity? It would benefit the ummah.
I never heard about that, for example, airplanes and will be inactive one day in a way. But anyway, yes, if we have that chance, but I think we don't have a lot of people who train nowadays to how to use archery. But if that was available, that should be okay.
Right.
Anyway, some people, they understand Islam, that Islam is for example, sticking to archery. No, Islam is talking about anything, even about future events.
Okay.
As I said, if during the time of the Prophet ﷺ there were rockets and these things, he would be the first one to teach the companions how to use such weapons.
Right. We don't have to understand it literally. We can use an analogy here. Is that what you're saying?
Jazakallah khair, and this is that thing,
Oh, okay, of course, because we can't look at that text
because
that way.
Some people said that there is a hadith says, when the Prophet ﷺ was delivering a Friday sermon, he said, "Ala inna al-quwwata al-ramy." Indeed, the power is the power how to throw arrows, right? But nowadays, for example, can we say that this hadith, can we apply it? Yes, we can apply it.
How
can
we
apply it to shooting.
Okay, because now obviously the arrows are outdated. There's no doubt about that. But also with the horseback riding, that is just like a fun thing nowadays. People have vehicles, so we should be teaching our children to fly the airplanes, to drive trains. I think also by analogy, because the horseback riding is not useful anymore.
But anyway, it's Islam, anything which keeps you healthy, which keeps your health fine, you can do it. If even I think horse riding is not available for everyone, because it's just for
country people, people living in the country.
That's right.
I know, Doctor, that you live in Egypt and you've traveled to the UK. What is your opinion about the condition of Muslims in general? Do you think that we are a physically fit ummah? Do you think that most Muslims are in decent physical fitness?
Frankly, actually, I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Because the problem is we do not follow the Islamic system. As you mentioned a few minutes ago, about we in our habits of eating, we do not follow the practice of the Prophet ﷺ. And the Islam, for example, didn't criticize anything as much as it criticized to have a lot of food.
Overeating.
To eat everything you desire.
Yeah, right.
No. You just eat things which keep you able to pray, able to do this.
It actually affects you spiritually as well. I know here in the Middle East, my wife is actually Egyptian, and I've been married now about a year, and I've gained a lot of weight actually in this year because I enjoy eating so much, and we have a lot of excellent sweets, and so this is a cultural practice that inshallah we can change. But your experience in the UK, isn't it strange that Westerners are more rigorous and they're more healthy, aren't they?
Yes, that's right.
I mean, did you ever go to England and see people smoking inside a building?
No.
Of course not.
No.
Or you don't see people overeating as much over there either.
No, the issue that they gave up smoking and we start smoking again.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So they leave the bad things, we take the bad things, and
Yeah.
this is very strange. Really.
Yeah. I think like in some ways over there they have good practices that we need to learn from, and we have obviously good practices that they need to learn from as well.
Yeah.
What advice do you have for a young Muslim man regarding sports? You're encouraging activity. We're not saying not to
Yes,
play
that's
sports.
right.
We're saying play sports
Yeah.
as long as it doesn't conflict with your family time.
Yes. Any kind of a sport, right, which keeps your body okay and
Right.
doesn't take you away from your responsibilities as a Muslim,
Right.
from your ibadat, from your family, from being dutiful to your parents.
Okay.
Islam is recommending these
Oh,
things.
you recommend.
But you shouldn't waste all your time, right, playing football, watching football day and night, and you have nothing to do except this.
Yeah.
No, because Islam doesn't prohibit such things.
Because I did hear a gentleman say, who I respect very much, he said, listen, Malik, the Sahaba played sports.
Yes.
They didn't sit in a coffee shop, watch a sporting event, watch the interview after the game,
Yeah.
read a newspaper, and spend 5-6 hours
Yes.
of what.
As I told you, the Prophet ﷺ, anyway, he was racing a Sayyidah Aisha radiallahu anha. They were running with each other.
Okay.
One time she won, another time he won,
Okay.
and he said this for that.
Yeah, there's healthy competition.
He was swimming with the Sahaba when they were like this, a kind of sport.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
he didn't at all neglect any of his duties.
Yeah, of course.
None of the companions, they neglect their duties. They
SubhanAllah.
were warriors, great worshippers,
Right.
great Muslims, great examples.
Islam encompasses all these beautiful things.
Yeah.
Jazakallah khairan, Doctor. Thank you for that. We have to go to the second segment, but stay here. And you guys at home, don't go anywhere. We have an all-new guest. You have not seen him on Huda TV before. You've seen him on Arabic language channels, French language channels. He's a well-known skydiver in the Middle East. He is the captain of Parkour Egypt. He is accredited with popularizing parkour throughout the Middle East. You don't want to go anywhere. Stay tuned.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala choose whom He wills subhanahu wa ta'ala for His mercy, for His messengership, for the revelation to be revealed. This is not for the human beings to make that decision. If a person would turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sincerely, truthfully, asking for forgiveness, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promised to forgive. We have as Muslims a duty, and that is to recite the book of Allah, to ponder over the verses, the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and to act according to the Quran. The mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala encompasses everything, but who would this mercy will be for? And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was sent to all mankind. So the ummah, or the people of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, are all mankind since the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam till the day of judgment. Why waste our life without getting to know every verse in the Quran, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from us?
Assalamu alaikum, dear viewers from around the world, and welcome back to a new and exciting episode of your program, Let's Talk. I'm still here and joined by a very prestigious man. He is an Islamic lecturer at the very prestigious Al-Azhar University, Dr. Mahmoud Dinawi. And Dr. Mahmoud, thank you for staying with us in this third segment. And I'm also joined by a very, very special guest that you have not seen on Huda TV. He is the founder of Parkour Egypt, our dear friend, Captain Nasser Mahmoud Eid. Captain Nasser, assalamu alaikum, and thank you. Thank you for joining us. I'm very excited to hear about parkour and what you have to say about it, inshallah.
Me too, inshallah.
Excellent. And you guys in the studio audience, thank you again for staying with us. Excellent. You guys, stay tuned, you viewers at home. We have a iReport. It's a cool video we put together about parkour, so check it out.
Parkour is a method of movement focused on moving around obstacles with speed and efficiency. It is considered an extreme urban sport, consisting of running and jumping through cities and over rooftops, walls, and using other non-traditional routes. It has also been described as obstacle coursing, or the art of movement. Originally developed in France, parkour has more recently been popularized throughout Africa and the Middle East, in large parts to an up-and-coming group called Parkour Egypt, founded by Captain Nasser Mahmoud Eid. Captain Nasser is a well-known skydiver who developed a great admiration for the sport and decided to contribute to its international popularity. The main purpose of the discipline is to teach participants how to move through their environments by vaulting, rolling, running, climbing, and jumping. Traceurs, or parkour practitioners, train to be able to identify and utilize alternate or more efficient paths. Parkour can be practiced anywhere, but areas dense with obstacles offer many different training opportunities. Two primary characteristics of parkour are efficiency and speed. Traceurs take the most direct path through an obstacle as rapidly as that route can be traversed safely. Developing one's level of spatial awareness is often used to aid development in these areas. Also, efficiency involves avoiding injuries, both short-term and long-term. This idea embodying parkour's unofficial motto, to be and to last. There are fewer predefined movements in parkour than in gymnastics, as there is no list of moves. Each obstacle a traceur faces presents a unique challenge. Committed traceurs tend to shy away from defining movement. The ability to overcome the challenge depends on multiple factors. For example, one body type, speed, angle of approach, the physical makeup of the obstacle. Parkour is about training the body and the mind to react to those obstacles appropriately with technique that is effective. Often that technique cannot and need not be classified and given a name. In many cases, effective parkour techniques depend on fast redistribution of body weight and the use of momentum to perform seemingly difficult or impossible body maneuvers at great speeds. Absorption and redistribution of energy is also an important factor, such as body rolls when landing, which reduces impact forces on the legs and spine, allowing a traceur to jump from greater heights than those often considered sensible in other forms of acrobatics and gymnastics.
Assalamu alaikum, dear viewers. We certainly hoped you enjoyed that really cool eye report about Parkour Egypt. Dr. Mahmoud, what did you think about that video?
It's amazing, really. Really, I'm very surprised.
Do you think you can do something like that?
No, I can never practice it because, yeah, it's okay, it's fine, but I need to look after my family.
Me too.
Yeah. But Brother Nasser, it's really great.
SubhanAllah, thank you so
I'm going
much.
to teach you.
Yeah.
Captain Nasser, what is parkour?
Parkour is simple. It's how to move from point A to point B.
Okay.
Speed as efficient as possible,
Okay.
just using the human body. And I put something else, and it's about without flipping.
Without flipping as well?
Without flipping.
But
when you do flipping, it's called free running. It's the same, but it's small different.
Oh, okay. But why is parkour useful? Why do we have to jump up and down? And what is the point?
There's a lot of things.
Who can use parkour?
Everyone can use parkour.
Okay.
But it's different level.
Okay.
Yani the level what you see, it's about practicing hard many years.
Okay.
It's take time.
It's advanced.
But yes, but you can doing it, but with a level low.
Low level,
and
right?
yes,
yeah.
until you be physical fit.
Okay.
Then
you
can do it. Yes.
What about police, firefighters? Did they contact you and say we want to learn parkour to help people, save people?
Yeah, some of policemen and some of the military come to me and learn this, but it's
SubhanAllah, even the military.
Yes, they come to my place,
Right.
and we train about this parkour and teach them. We have a lot of branches to teach this in Egypt.
Oh, here in Egypt where you look
Yes,
at Dr. Mahmoud, and that's a great point, isn't it? That firefighters, policemen, we can use parkour in a good Islamic way to save lives. It's
Great.
Yeah, SubhanAllah. It's very interesting. About the training though, you guys just run around and find a building and jump off of it, or how do you?
When you see that the report, you say, "Oh, this is very hard. I can't do this." No,
Yeah.
it's not about this. There's a practicing and in the safe area.
Okay.
There's indoor training. We practicing. There's a lot of mats, a lot of an instructor to help you on this.
Okay, and you start small.
Yes, you start small gaps, and you do the right techniques to observe the impact.
Okay.
And the right angle, and this is very important.
Okay.
Because some people they want to learn parkour with just watching.
And you can't
on
do
YouTube
that.
and do it. Yes, you can, but the
small things.
The small things.
Right.
But if you have knowledge, and alhamdulillah, I'm a graduate from physical education, and
Okay.
we learn in physical education. They teach us how to analyze the the movement, how to know the angles, how to. That's
So
why I
all the-
start with this.
Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt you. All the jumps, you didn't just go out there and jump it. You calculated every
Yes,
meter and
everything calculated before, and you know your limits.
You know your
and
limit.
you try to discover your limits in the safe
In the
safe
safe-
place.
in the
There's
ma-
a lot mats, indoor training. You discover your limits and improve it. Then you go outside, outdoor, and do it with under supervision.
Oh, okay.
From our coaches.
I didn't see you in a lot of the jumps. Do you know the jumps as well, and you teach them, or?
Yes, a lot of parkour jumps I teach it, and
Okay.
free running I teach it, but I don't like free running a lot because it's about like show off how you're flipping and this stuff.
Oh, free running is more showy. Okay.
Yes, it's more showy. But parkour, it's very, very useful.
SubhanAllah. And Doctor, I know you have children as well, and I have a son as well. Maybe when they get older, we'll send them to Brother Nasser, who will teach them parkour.
But he should promise us here now to give us a discount anyway.
Of course, and we have to do it in the gym first because
yes,
it's very
indoor is safe.
But you know what I can't understand when I see it in the video? Like one of the guys jumps off like a really high building, and he lands and he gets up. What are the tricks behind the parkour? How do you land without breaking your ankles?
It's about how to absorb the impact with first using some muscles, and how to absorb this impact with you not when you land, for example, when you land, you not land on full foot.
Okay.
Just use
your tiptoes.
Yes. And keep your feet together a little bit, because if separate or split legs, can you twist ankle? But if keep it together, it support each other. That's why you can't twist your ankle. This is once. And how the angle from you touching the surface or the ground, it's important. How you know the right angle to do this.
Okay. And then why do they always roll over afterwards? They hit the ground and they roll over.
Yes, because there's two speeds. You know, there's two speed, vertical and horizontal speed.
Okay.
And you have to, if you just absorb the vertical speed and there's horizontal speed, gonna fall down on your face.
Okay. Yeah. Right.
And that's why you have to make it roll and to absorb some of the force, the impact force.
Okay, I think parkour is new because I know I'm from the United States, Dr. Mahmoud, and there was no parkour that I knew of as a kid. And I know that you're from Egypt, and when you were a kid, there was no one practicing parkour. So, Brother Nasser, how did parkour come? How did you get involved with it? Because I know you were a skydiver.
Yes.
Before, so how did parkour come to you, and how did you?
It's a start with me about. I'm watching a small clip about chase. It's a chase
on YouTube.
On YouTube.
How many years ago?
It's 2005.
Oh, okay. So it's
this
been
is
a
how it
couple of years now. Okay. All right. Go ahead. And what happened?
And when I watched this, I surprised because I like the extreme sports.
Yeah. Right.
And I tried to search what it is.
Yeah.
And I know this is called parkour, and I start to do it with myself first.
Oh,
and it take time, maybe 3 years practicing alone with 2-3 friends. Then we start Parkour Egypt team.
SubhanAllah, because it's originally French, I know.
It's originally French.
Right, but you have an Islamic attitude on it, because I noticed that you guys pray. If you guys are outside,
yes,
this is Asr time comes, you'll pray.
Yes, when the prayer time, because we're Muslims, we have to put some the Islamic way in the sports.
Yeah,
we don't. Once, we start when the prayer time come, we stop practicing and pray.
Okay.
And about joining some female and practicing, we don't do this.
Oh, because this it's a difficult sport. It's dangerous.
It's dangerous first, and the second, it's need to support the player or the tracer. Tracer, it means the parkour player.
Yeah.
Tracer.
Okay. This is the word that
you have to support him. I'm not gonna support a woman because Islam teaches us we can't touch the woman. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said about this. A lot of hadith about this. We can't touch a woman, and the sports need to support.
A lot of
support. Yes, that's why we can't.
Join us. Dr. Mahmoud, I know obviously, thank goodness we have you here as a professor of Islamic law. It would be difficult, isn't it? We can't participate in a sport if we're grabbing the opposite sex, isn't that right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, excellent, good point. And of course, we have to implement the Islam in everything that we do. I wanted to ask you really quick, I know you're Egyptian, you live in Egypt, and you had told me before the revolution you had got into some, it was a difficult situation, wasn't it, for you?
Yes, sometimes because parkour, we're practicing outdoor. Yeah. And outdoor, it's not familiar for Egyptian. You're standing outdoor for a group from 10 people to 20 person, jumping and climbing, and thought, what's he gonna do? What you doing here?
Right, they become nervous. What are you gonna?
Yes, and some policemen, they don't like gathering for youth, and they said this is.
But alhamdulillah now.
But alhamdulillah, yes, we
manage
this.
Now.
Yes.
Yeah. Very good. I know you also teach PE at an international school in Cairo, and the kids just want to play football. Are you against that, or do you try to teach them parkour in the school?
Really, I'm against that.
Why?
Because always the students want just practicing football. Football, okay, you play it everywhere.
Right.
You have to improve your skills. It's not just about football. That's why I said, okay, football, we're not playing football in the PE.
At all. Did they make a revolution again?
In the beginning, they want to make a revolution, and we need football. This time. I told them, okay, try parkour first, and we will see.
Okay.
After 3 weeks, 1 month, I told them, okay, now we can practice football, but we make a tournament for football just in the break time. And in PE, we're practicing parkour, and now they love it, and they will want to learn more.
Oh, excellent. Okay. What about traveling? Has parkour taken you overseas?
Alhamdulillah, yes. Our team, we participate in a lot of things outside Egypt.
Okay.
And maybe after 2 days from now, this month, we will participate in Spain. We'll travel in Spain, 6 players will travel in Spain.
Oh, subhanallah.
Participate in big event. We make a show for parkour, and we make workshop to teach the people in Spain how they're using parkour and useful.
Oh, subhanallah, Dr. Mahmoud, mashallah, did you ever think that something like parkour would take you overseas traveling? It's become an international phenomenon, it looks like. Subhanallah, it's very interesting. What about, how many locations do you have? How can people get in touch with you if they want to become interested?
If anyone wants to practice in parkour, you find, make search in Facebook, Google about Parkour Egypt. Our team is called Parkour Egypt. And he finds a lot of things to contact us.
Is there any other groups in the Middle East?
Yes, there's a lot.
There's a lot. Oh, now it's
now it's spread everywhere.
Oh, okay. So
now there's a friends parkour in Bahrain, in Morocco, and in Kuwait, BK Jaguar, and we are friends and we contact together.
Oh, mashallah, yeah. But it's interesting that it started in France, so it's kind of strange. I was reading about parkour and it said it had like it was a French military. They really like to use it or something like that. Is that true?
It's a start, with French military.
Right.
And that's why we want to make parkour here a part of
the military
Yes, because in the military or in police academy, they're always using obstacle course. Yes, they're practicing obstacle course.
Right.
And I'm sure if they crossing this course, we use it parkour, they will saving more time.
Why?
Because it's more efficient and faster.
Okay.
And there's some techniques they don't think about it at all.
Because they're old-fashioned.
Maybe he can cross 4 obstacles in 4 steps. But in parkour, we maybe crossing in 1 step.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And this is, I think, save more time.
Okay.
And it's more absorbing impact and less injured.
I think it's something that's going to be more popular in the future as well.
Inshallah.
But Dr. Mahmoud, did you join the military while you were in Egypt? I know it's...
Yes.
Oh, okay. And were you familiar with these obstacle courses? You have to run around and jump over things, and did you participate?
No, I was just in the infantry area, right?
Okay,
so
excellent.
we used to carry weapons, but we didn't practice in anything obstacles on these things.
Oh, okay, excellent. Brother Nasser, I think you're absolutely right. This stuff is old-fashioned. I think people need to revolutionize and get new. And I read something also, the U.S. Marine Corps is practicing parkour as well. So I think all the countries now are going to be using parkour. But you train some Egyptian military.
Some Egyptian military and some policemen, they come, but the private lesson. It's not
did they like it, or was it something strange
They
for
like
them?
it and continue practicing.
Oh, subhanAllah, yeah. I think it's good for I'm so happy that you bring it to Egypt, and you take something that was not Islamic, or not necessarily not Islamic, but something foreign for us, and you take it fi sabilillah, and you use it in a good way. May Allah bless you and keep you all safe. I think this segment is over, you guys. Stay tuned. We have one more segment with questions from the studio audience.
Are you up to date with the latest gadgets and devices? Or do you get confused when someone even mentions the word computer? Conquer your fear and learn how to get the best out of the latest computer software, smartphones, and the latest cutting-edge technology by tuning into Tech Talk with Dr. Baha. All of this and more in Tech Talk, only on Hoda TV.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome back, dear viewers from around the world, to another new and exciting episode, the final segment of this episode of Let's Talk. We're still here with the Professor of Islamic Law at the prestigious Al Azhar University, Dr. Mahmoud Adnawi. Dr. Mahmoud, thank you for staying with us.
Thank you very much.
And also we're joined by the captain and the founder of Parkour Egypt, Captain and our brother in Islam, Nasser Mahmoud Eid. And Captain Nasser, thank you for staying with us.
You're welcome.
Excellent. And brothers of the studio audience, thank you guys for being here for the last segment. Do we have any questions?
I have a question for Dr. Mahmoud.
Go ahead.
I would like about women, Muslim women and sports. How should they perform different kind of sports and exercises?
Excellent, brother. Thank you for that wonderful question. What is your name and where are you from?
My name is Dino and I'm from Bosnia.
MashaAllah. May Allah bless all the Muslims in Bosnia and grant them wealth and success in this world and the hereafter. Allahumma ameen. Thank you, Dino. Excellent question from Brother Dino from Bosnia.
That's right.
What do you think?
Okay,
as far as women in sports.
Many scholars talked about this issue, but if women's sport could be practiced indoor, right, and nobody is looking at them, there is no men at all, because Islam is against mingling, and Islam prohibits mingling, whatever the reasons are. Right? So if they could place in a specific place that is run totally by women, right, and especially some light sports like basketball, like football, but women, for example, Islam can never say that wrestling or boxing, for example, for women, no.
Okay, so as long as they're in a closed atmosphere that's run by women, there should be no reason that they can't play sports.
Right. Even they can practice swimming, but again, it should be in a closed area.
Yeah, as long as
nobody is looking at them, especially men.
Okay, as long as the Islamic rules are observed, we shouldn't see a problem.
Yeah.
But as far as parkour, like Brother Nasser said, we are holding and touching each other.
Yes.
So this obviously is out of the question.
No, because men and women can't mingle with each other under any circumstances.
Okay. Jazakallah, and thank you, Dr. Mahmoud, for that excellent answer. Brother Nasser, why should I be interested in parkour as an individual? Why does parkour benefit me as an individual?
There's a lot of benefits for parkour for a person. First, you have good physical fitness.
Okay.
And you have stamina more because you're crossing a lot of obstacles, one shot or do it one course, and this is give you a good stamina.
Stamina and energy.
Yes, energy.
Yeah, okay.
And this is for the physical.
That's the physical side.
That's the physical. Sometimes mental. You have to think about the obstacles in front of you. If a normal man just look to a building or something,
he'll become discouraged.
No problem. He will cross. He will go without give attention.
Giving any
but the tracer or the parkour player, when he looked, he have a different.
He
has a different
perspective.
Yes, it's about a challenge. Okay, I can jump from here to here, or I can crossing from here. What's happening? What's happening here? What the situation? And this is always when I walk in the street. I look to the buildings in a different vision.
Now that you've been doing parkour, right?
Yes, this is different. The same place. I live in it 10 years.
Yeah,
no, I don't look this. It's different vision.
You look at the details differently.
Yes. This is thing. And very important thing about how you break your fears. This is very important. How you overcome your fears.
Okay.
Yes, because you your ability can jump 2 meters.
For example, right?
Yes, in the ground. What about if you go high, 10 meters, and you want to jump the same distance.
Okay, excellent.
And it's gonna fight yourself.
It's a challenge.
How you broke your fear, and this is the parkour.
SubhanAllah, this. Dr. Mahmoud, what do you think about that? I mean, that's an excellent point. I mean, parkour, something that doesn't seem to be I guess serious, we could say, but it is because it teaches you good characteristics as a Muslim. It can psychologically teach you to meet challenges, make challenges, break your fear. This is all good for Muslims, isn't it?
Yes, sure.
SubhanAllah. So we see no contradiction, and parkour could be part of all of our lives. But you said you lived in the same place 10 years, and now after doing parkour, you look at everything different.
Yes, different.
Like
really.
Spider-Man.
Yes.
It's Spider-Man and parkour.
We are better than Spider-Man. Spider-Man uses ropes. We don't use ropes. We just use our human body.
SubhanAllah, I might consider doing something. But is parkour taking the techniques of gymnastics? Because gymnastics is parkour, isn't it?
There's some techniques from free running very close from gymnastics, but it's different. Gymnastics, you do it in a safe area. You don't do an outdoor. But parkour, you do an outdoor. You use walls to make wall flip, to make wall spin.
And no safety nets.
And there is no safety after you practicing in the safe area.
After you do it.
Yes, we do it on concrete. And this is the big difference between gymnastics. And there's some techniques different from gymnastics.
Oh, like, for example?
Like wall flip, you're doing 2 steps, 3 steps. You walk in the wall 2 steps, then doing backflip.
Did you see that, Dr. Mahmoud, in the video? The man looked like that. Looked very strange. That looked very hard. That's very hard to do.
And maybe the opposite. He walk 2 steps and make front flip. It's very يعني.
Is that a very hard thing, or is that something?
It's hard.
Oh, this takes practice.
Take time to practice in it.
You would never do something live outside that you didn't practice many times in the gym, right?
We do it about practicing parkour. Or,
in general, in parkour, you always practice in the gym and you get the moves down. You practice on the mats.
Yes.
Yeah,
we do indoor first.
Yeah, okay. And how many people have you trained now in parkour? In the hundreds, or?
MashaAllah, now it's
out of control now.
Yes, we have group on Facebook. We have a lot of members. They want to practice in parkour, and we have 5 branches. Maybe one branch, alhamdulillah, sometimes reach 120 tracer in one session.
Okay.
And this is a big number.
Yeah, of course it is. And on Facebook, what is your name? So the people.
Parkour Egypt.
Parkour Egypt, and it's open for anyone to join. Yeah. And as far as those viewers in Egypt, they can find you at those locations. I think they pay 10 guinea or something, and they go in.
Outdoor, just a little
couple dollars.
So maybe five pounds. And outdoor practicing. In indoor practicing, we because we need money to rent the place, rent the gym. That's why we make it 20 pounds.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, thank you for your time. We're out of time for this episode. Inshallah, I want to take your commitment that you will come back to Huda TV.
Inshallah.
And we talk more about parkour. Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Jazakallah khairan. Thank you for your time, Dr. Mahmoud. Thank you so much for coming. I know you're very busy at the university. Inshallah, I hope that you come back for more programs. I want to take your commitment as well that you'll come back to Huda TV. Excellent. I want to thank the brothers from Somalia and Bosnia and the studio audience. Assalamu alaikum. May everything be well with you. And inshallah, we want to see you back at Huda TV soon, inshallah. Okay, and you dear viewers at home, I hope you enjoyed another wonderful and exciting episode of your program, Let's Talk. Until next time, we leave you in the care of Allah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you're trudging seems all uphill, when things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you're trudging seems all uphill, when the funds are low and the debts are high, and you want to smile but you have to sigh, when care is pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but do not ever quit. Success is a failure turned inside out. Let's talk and clear the clouds of doubt. Success is a failure turned inside out. Let's talk and clear the clouds.